Good morning, everyone. Can you guys confirm whether I'm audible or not? Am I audible? Okay, great. So let's begin with the quiz or wait for a minute or a two so others can also join. Okay, so let me share my screen. All right, so let's jump on to the quiz part. I hope my screen is visible to you all. Okay, so let's try to solve this. Okay, so write the output of the following: 22 plus 7 minus 2 floor division 9 multiplied by or exponent by 2. So, what you have to do, you have to write the correct answer in the chat window. Try to do it. Okay, so to solve this, let's just quickly open the Collab notebook. I will name it day 4 underscore Python. And now let's try to run this. It is going connecting with the resources. So when we run it, so here you can see that as we talked about PEMDAS, it is going to first work on to the parenthesis. So first this expression will be evaluated. And in this expression, you have division as well as exponent, right? So what will happen first? Let's run it. So what will happen first? First you will have the division or the exponent. Tell me. So if you go for the PEMDAS, what will happen first? So first you will see that it will find out a exponent. So here 9 into 9 will be evaluated, and after that minus 2 divided by 81 will happen, which evaluates to 0 point something, that is 0 in itself, and then this 7 minus 0, so 22 plus 7 will evaluate to 29. This is how it evaluates. So here the right answer is 29. What about this question? 22 modulo 3.0. Write the correct answer in the chat window. Let's try to run this. And if I run it, you will see that we are getting an output of 1.0. Why this is so? Because if you divide 22 by 3, you will get a remainder 1, and this modulo operator will gives you remainder, which is 1 over here. So the right answer is 1.0. What about this? Write the output of the following: print true and parenthesis false or true. What is the output of this line? So if you look over here, in this line, first we have parenthesis. So in the parenthesis, you will see that I have a false or true, and we know that whenever we have an or operator, the first it will look for any true value. So this expression is going to evaluate to true because it has one true in it. Now true and true, so this is true, and this whole expression is going to be true, and true and true, we know that it's true. The right answer is true. What about this? So here you can see that we are applying a modulo operator. If just make it a habit that whenever you do a modulo operator in a number less than on the left side and more in the right side, whatever the value on the left side will be evaluated. So here 2 modulo 6, it will output to 2. So the right answer is this. What about this? Let's quickly answer this. Yes, what is the output of this expression? Which will be evaluated first, exponent or multiplication? So here also PEMDAS, if you follow PEMDAS, first exponent will happen. So 3 to the power 3, it will be evaluated first, and then 2, and then 4. If I run it, you will get 216. Why it is saying back? Okay, so this is all I have for today's quiz. Submit and next. Okay, so that's it for today's quiz. Let's jump on to the today's concept, and today we will talk about control statement. Before jumping on to control statement, I wanted to discuss with you one more operator that somebody also asked about, is in and not in operators. So they are very important operators we use in a day-to-day programming, or whenever we are working on Python projects or any project, we use these operators quite frequently. So let's see what it is. So basically it checks whether a particular thing is in the object or not. So if I have this sequence 1 2 3 4 5, and I want to check whether 3 is in this sequence or not. By the way, this sequence is called list. We will talk about list later on in detail. But as of now, consider it as a sequence. You have got a list, or you have got a series of numbers starting from 1 to 5. And you want to check whether 3 is in this list or not. So what I can do is I can write 3 in this. And when I run it, you will see that it is evaluating to true. That means 3 is a part of my list. Second thing is that I can write something like this also, not in. So 3 not in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I run it, you will see that it is evaluating to false. Why false? Because 3 is part of my list. 3 is there in the middle of my series. So if I check not in, it is going to evaluate to false. What about this? If I write, so I want to check whether a particular character is in my list or is in my string or not. So I want to check whether B is in Saurabh or not. So if I run this, you will see that it is evaluating to true. So a lot of time we use this operator. I can write something like that also. This will also evaluate to true because I have a substring RAB in Saurabh. So RAB in Saurabh, it is true. So you can check that using the not in and not in operators in Python. So they are very important operators that I also frequently use it for checking whether a particular number or a particular string or a particular object is in the list sequence or not. So this is about in and not in operators. Let's talk about the control statements. So what is control statement? So control statement is nothing. You have a program. Let me just explain you here. So let's say I have print A. Let's say I have A equals to 10. I have B equals to 20. Print 20. Something like this a program I have. So let's say this is program.py. So this is my file, and how it evaluates? It evaluates line by line. So how it executes? Line by line. First line is this A, then you have print A, then you have B, and then you have a print B. So usual execution order is like this only. So this is called a flow. This is a flow of your program. Now what if I add some condition? So some condition is like that. If I put over here, if A is greater than B, if I add this condition, or if I add a condition like this, if A is less than B, then do something else. Else, do something else. So this is a condition over here. A less than B, this becomes my condition. So now this condition is like a switch. So if the condition is right, turn on the switch, otherwise turn it off. So what happens is, now here, after that, this is my normal flow of execution if I don't have a if. But if I have a if, what happens is, now my flow is like this. And here I have added a condition. If A is less than B, then do this. If yes, or I would say true, then do this. If it is false, then do this. So this becomes your condition. Now here you will see that this condition is changing my flow. My first flow was like my first flow was like this, and now it can be this or it can be this. So this condition is changing my flow. So that is why they are called conditional statement, or we can say control statement, because this condition in this program is controlling my flow of my program. So here this is called control statement or conditional statement. Let's see how it works. So let's say I have age. Okay, so I am taking age through user, and I'm asking enter your age. And And what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask if the age is greater than equals to 18, print you are a eligible voter. So what this means is that in India, if your age is 18 years or above 18 years, you are eligible to cast a vote. So here, if I run this program, if I write 19, so we are getting an error. Why we are getting an error? Because we all know that this input returns a string. We have to type convert it into a integer. And now let's run it. This time you will see that it is giving you an output. You are an eligible voter. Now, why this is happening? Because here I am going to give an age. That age will be stored in an age variable, and now here I am comparing it. We learned about comparison operator yesterday. Here, the whatever the value of age will be, it is going to compare it with a 18. If the age is greater than 18, we will go inside this print. And why I'm saying inside this if? Because if you look over here, I have an indentation, and this indentation means this is a block of a statement which is a part of this if condition. If this condition is evaluated to true, it will go inside it. Now if I run it, and here if let's say if I enter 17, you will see that nothing got printed. We do not have any other statement over here. It is just asking for age, that's it. Why? Because here age variable is 17. If 17 greater than 18, condition is false. It is not going inside this if statement. It is not printing this block of a code. It moves to this line, and at line number 6 we do not have any other statement. Okay, so what I can do is, now this is a bad program, because if I enter the age 17, it is not showing anything. So for that, what we have to do, we have to add else condition. So here I will add else part, you are not eligible voter. And if I run this program now, and this time if I give 17, here it is printing you are not eligible voter. So it is recommended that you always use else part also. So like here you can see that I have just if condition, and what happens is if the condition is false, it is not printing anything. And here you can see that if the condition is false, it is going inside this block of a code and it is printing it. Okay, now, and this is a block of code. Why I'm saying block of a code? Because it is having a white space from the left side, so it has a leading white spaces here. Now I want to make it more beautiful, so what I can do is I will add here print end of program. Now tell me when this line of a code will be printed. Line number 7. If age is greater than equals to 18, or if age is less than 18, when it will be printed. So if I try to enter here, let's say 18, you will see that it is printing end of a program. Here also, first it is going inside the if condition. If this condition is true, it is printing that block of a code. It is not going in the else part, and then it is going into the last line, which is print end of program. Let's run it again. If I add 17 over here, you will see that this time it is going in the else part. Why? Because age is 17, and then it is printing end of a program. Now in this case, you will see that line number 7, which is end of a program, is printing irrespective of your condition, whether it is true or false. So it is when the age is greater than 18, In this case also it is printing when age is less than 18, then also it is printing end of a program. That means this line of a code is not a part of your control statement, so it is not a part of your if else. Why? Because you can see over here in the indentation, this is starting, it do not have any leading spaces. Right now, let's see what happens if I have a space over here. Tell me what happens. Yes, so what you have to do, you have to put it in the chat window. What happens if I put a white spaces, leading white spaces at line number 7? And now let's try to run it. Now here I'm adding a value 19 to the age variable, and this time it is saying you are an eligible voter, and it is not printing end of a program. And what if I write like this, 17? This time it is saying you are not eligible voter, end of program. That means this line of a code is a part of this whole else block. So now whenever it goes inside the else condition, everything written over here is going to print. And why? Because they have the same white space over here. That means they are the part of a block. So if I So here you can see that whatever the number of spaces I have over here, same number of spaces are here. That means these two lines, line number 5 and 6, they are a part of a one block, and that block is belongs to else part. So whenever the else condition is true, that means if age is less than 18, it is going inside the else part, and it is going to print line number 5 as well as line number 6. So this is about if else. Let's say let's say I have three variable a, b and c, and the value of a is 10 and the value of b is 20, and similarly we have value of a c as 30, and I want to find out which one is bigger. So what I want, find out the biggest number. So is it a, is it b, is it c? Which one is the biggest number? So for that, what you can do here is you can use if else conditions. So what I'm going to do, first we will see if a is greater than b and a is greater than c, then we can say that a is bigger. Here you will see that after if or else you have to specify colon. This is mandatory. So if you want to start if, you have to specify colon after your condition. This is my condition here, this is a condition, and after that you have to specify colon. Now here a is bigger. Similarly I can write if b is greater than a and b is greater than c, I can call b as bigger. If c is greater than a and c is greater than b, then I can call it c is bigger. And let's run it. You will see that it is printing c is bigger. Why? Because the value of a c is 30 over here. Now if I change this to 40, let's run it. You will see that this time it is printing b is bigger, which is a case because b is 40, which is bigger than or greater than a and c both. So this is printing. But what is the problem over here? Can anyone tell? Please write your answer in the chat window. What is the problem with this program? Any problem with this program, or there's no problem in this program? Let's see in the chat window. It will print with else part, end of program. Okay. Okay. Tell me, what is an issue with this program? So logically there is no problem with this program. This program is perfectly fine, but the issue is in the performance side. So when you are writing a program, One way is just finding out a solution, another way is finding out the best solution. And people who have the best solution, they are always preferred. Now in this case you will see that here, even if you can see over here, the b is bigger, that means this line is false, this line is true. I got my number, b is bigger. But then also I am checking c, line number 9 also getting executed. So we are checking c greater than a, c greater than b, irrespective, though our line number 7 already it is evaluated to true and this print b is already printed, is still I am going inside this line number 9, right? So you will see that performance wise this is a bad program. So let's say if this a is 60, 50, now in this case line number 5 will be executed and then a is bigger will be printed. Though my job is over, but still I'm going to check line number 7, I'm going to check line number 9. That is bad. Let's say if I have hundreds of if condition or tens of 10 or 15 if condition, what will happen? This program is going to check each and every if condition. That is a very bad program, right? So what you have to do, you have to optimize it. How we can do that? Let's see. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write else if here, sorry, elif. Now this time you will see that because line number 5 is true, line number 5 is true, it is not going in 7 and 9. It will just print a is bigger. Why? Because we have used else operator. Now here, because you are going to use more else part, you have to use elif. Elif means you are giving a condition, right? One way is that I can write else only here, because I know that the third line is going to be c is bigger. So what is going on over here? I have if condition. If this condition is true, I'm going to check. If this condition is false, I'm going inside the 7th, and here I'm going to check whether the condition is true or not. If condition is false, it is going in the 9th line and it is going to print c is bigger. Now in this case I am using if, elif and else, not just if else, right? So the point to note over here is if, elif and else. So how many ways of writing? So if you talk about if, you have just plain if, or here you have to specify condition and then you have to specify colon. You can have if condition and then else part. So this is one way of writing it, this is second way of writing it. Or you can have if condition, then you can have elif. Why elif? Because I want to specify one more condition over here, and then you can have else part. So this is the third way. So these are the logically options available with the Python. But what if I wanted to do something like this? Can I optimize it further? Let's see how we can do that. So what I am going to do, if let's say a equals to 10, b equals to 20, c equals to 30. So what I'm going to do, first I will check if a is greater than b. If b is greater than c, then I can simply write print a is bigger. Else so now here you will see that a is greater than b. If a is greater than b, I am going to check b is greater than c. That means A is biggest of them. Otherwise, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write C is bigger, or I would say if A is greater than this, then here I will write elif B is greater than C, print B is bigger, else print C is bigger. So now in this case, you will see that I have if condition. Inside that if, I have another block of if else, right? This is called nested if. So here what I am doing, first I am checking if A is greater than B and A is greater than C, the A is going to be bigger. Otherwise, A is greater than B but A is less than C, that means C is bigger. Similarly, if A is less than B, I am going to check with whether B is greater than C or not. If B is greater than C, I am going to print B is bigger. Otherwise, C is bigger, I am going to print. Right? Now the beauty with this is that you don't have to use multiple AND over here. Like in this case, you know that if you have an AND operator, you are going to evaluate both these operands, this condition as well as this condition every time. But here you can see that if C is biggest of them, I am just going to have one condition and then I'm going inside this else part, right? So this is also a very good approach. The point to note over here, or why I am telling you, is that you can have nested if else statement. What is nested if else? That means inside if you can have multiple if condition. So how we will see that this, so what you have, if and inside if and inside if. This is also completely possible. This is called nested ifs. Okay, now let's talk about for statement. So in any programming language, if you have a little knowledge of C or C++ or Java, you will always find this for statement, or you must have used it lot many times, right? So in those programming languages, how we used to write for? So we used to write for. Here we give the initialization condition, then we give the condition, then we give the increment or decrement that we used to write. But here in Python, this for is treated differently. So how we do it in Python, what we write, first we write for, then we give the variable name. Let's say I have I, and here you have to use in operator. So for I in, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I want to display each of these values. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write print I over here. And if I run this, you will see that it is displaying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now how this is working? Let me just copy it. So here you will see that I have this I variable. So this I variable is going to iterate over this list. So how it is iterating? first it will have I equals to 1. It will start from the first element of my list. So what is the first element of list is 1. So it is going to print, it is going to have I equals to 1. So this is going to print 1. Then it iterates, it moves to the second element, which is 2. So now my I becomes 2 over here, and it will display 2. Similarly, now it will iterate over to the third element, which is 3. So now it is going to print 3. Similarly, it will be 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it will print 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So whatever the number of elements I have, it is going to iterate over the each element like this. First it will have 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, 7, 8. It is not necessary that it needs to be in sequence. What if I change this value to, let's say, 15 or 50? And now if I run it, it is going to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 50, 6, 7, 8. So this, the element value does not matter to this for. What happens is whatever the value it has, it is going to be put into the I, and that I will be displayed. Right? So this is how you iterate over the list in the Python using for loop. Now, I if let's say I have to generate 100 numbers, or what I want is I want to print the 100 numbers. So what I have to do is I will write 9, 10, 11, 12 like this. Should I keep doing it up to 100? You can do it like that also, but this is not a right approach. But what if you need to print thousands of numbers? Are you going to write everything in this list? No. There is one way to do this. What you have to do, you have to use range function. What you have to do, you have to use range function. And how we use it, let's see. So if I have for I in range, let's say 10, and if I write print I, or let's say I have 100, let's see what happens. You will see that it is printing the list over here. It is printing the 100 numbers, but you will see that it is starting from 0. And if I go down, if I look at the last value, you will see that the last value is 99. Right? So it started with 1, it started with 0 over here. You can see that it started with 0 and it ended with 99. But in the range we have specified 100. That means when you specify range a number, it starts with 0 up to -1 specified number. So that means it started with 0 and it went up to 100 minus 1. That means up to 99. So it is not going to print 100. So remember this thing, not going to print 100. 1 minus 100, that is 99. Right? So how you print the indexes, or how you print the list, if you have numbers, what you have to use? For I in range, let's say 10. I will do it again, but this time with 10 values. So this time you will see that it is printing from 0 to 9, though we have specified 10 over here. But what if I want to start it from 1 to 10, not from 0 to 9? Lot of time this requirement comes that we don't want this 0, or we want it to go up to the number we specified. So one way is that you can, if you wanted to specify, or if you want to go till 10, what you can do is you can put 11 over here, and if I run it, but this time you will see that it is printing 10, but at the beginning it is printing 0 only. So how to solve this problem? So to solve this problem, what you have to do, instead of here, you have to give the starting point also. So what I am going to do, I'm going to write 1 comma 11. If I run it now, so that means if I run it now, you will see that my list or my values are printing from 1 to 10 this time. That means here I have specified starting point and end point minus 1 as end point. I have starting point is 1 and end point is 11 minus 1, which is 10. Right? So the point to note over here, when you specify starting point, it will start from the exact starting point, but if it goes to the end point, it will just stop at 1 minus the end point. So that is why it is printing from 1 to 10. But let's say I don't want like this. What I want 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 only. So what I want, from 1 to 10, I want only the odd numbers. Now in this case, how you can do that? To do this, what you have to do, you can specify the increment number also. So if I specify 2 over here, and if I run it, let me just remove this comment, and now if I run it, you will see that it is printing 13579. Why this is so? Because here, if I copy it and take it, now in this case, you will see that my I started with 1, it is going to print 1. So let's say this is the output, it is going to print 1. Next time, it, instead of going for I equals to 2, because we have specified this 2 over here, which is an increment. So what it is going to do, it is going to add I equals to previous value, which is 1 plus 2, and this evaluates to 3, and this time it is going to print 3 over here. Next time, I is going to be 3 plus 2, which is 5, and it is going to print 5. And after that, it becomes 5 plus 2, which is going to be 7, and it will print 7. Similarly, it will go to 7 plus 2, which is 9, and it will print 9 over here. Now next time, when it goes 9 plus 2, which is 11, and this time, because my largest number that it can print up to 10 only, right? So it can print up to 10 only, and here it becomes 11. So it is not going to include any further number over here. So my list will have only these 5 numbers, 1, 2, 9, which is the case here in the program only. So how many numbers it is printing? 5 numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So this is how you can do that. This range function is very, very important. I personally use it very frequently, almost every day, you can say that, or whenever I start writing Python program, I somehow met this range function, right? So this is how you can use this range function. So what is the things that you need to learn? First is it has a starting point, end point, and the increment. Now let me just quickly answer this. For I in range, I have 20, I have 0, and here I have specified 1. Tell me what is going to be the output in this case. Just quickly answer what will be the output in this case. Let's run it. You will see that it is printing 20, 19, 18, 17 up to 1. So this time my starting number is 20, and by here I am giving minus 1. That means every time it is going to subtract minus 1 in the I value. So first it will be 20, then it decremented by 1, which is going to be 19, then it decremented by 18. It keeps going on till one number above this 0, which is going to be 1. So it will display 1 only over here. What if I add write something like this? Think about it. What will happen? Write your answer in the chat window. I have specified 20 comma 0 comma 1. What will happen? If I run it, you will see that the nothing happened. Why this is so? So here you will see that it is moving upwards, right? So this is not possible. It will not print anything. It is, though logically this is right, programmatically it is right, but it will not print anything here. What if I specify -2 over here and 5 over here? What will happen? Just quickly answer. So this time you will see that it is going to decrement 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8 and 6. So how many till what point it will go? It will go just above 5, which is 6. So this will print up to 6 only. For I in range, let's say 10, or I will write it more beautifully, 111. Print I. Now, what will happen in this case? You will see that it is going to print 1 to 10 numbers, but you will find that it is printing vertically. I don't want it. What I want is I want it to be horizontal. How we can do that? So, for this, here you can specify end equals to some character, let's say comma. Now, what will happen? If you see over here, it is giving 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 7 8 9 10 like this. So you will see that now it is printing horizontally, and here you have each number separated by comma. What happens is at the end of the number it is appending comma. So 1 comma, then 2 comma, then 3 comma like this. What if I just write this? I am not giving anything over here, not even a white space. So if I run it, you will see that it is printing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So there is no spaces in between these numbers, so you can print it. Now what you have to do is, I am going to give you one assignment. The problem over here, if I give end equals to comma, what is happening? At the end of the line you have comma also. So what I want, instead of this, what I want is 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8 comma 9 comma 10. I don't want this last comma in my output. So how we can do that? So you have to do it by your own. This is your assignment. Change output to this. Right? So what you have to do is you have to specify like this. So it is not like you just have to give the space, or here if I change the space and if I run it, this time you will see that it is like this: 1 space 2 space 3 space like this. I can specify any other character also. If you want to separate it by hash, that also you can do. So 1 hash 2 hash like that you can add. So after print, after each value, it is going to add that particular character. Whatever you give, it will add it to your display. So this is how you can do it. Now another thing is, for if statement, if I write something like this, let's say a equals to 10, and if I write if a greater than 5 comma, tell me what will happen. If I just write like this, you will see that it is giving an error. Why this is Why this is so? Because every if statement expect a block of a code. You should write at least one line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write print a is greater than 5. This is completely fine. But I don't want to do anything over here. I don't even want this print statement. How we can do that? But if I run it, it is going to give you an error. So in this case, what you can do is you can simply write pass. Lot of program, if you get a code from somewhere online, you will find that they are using this pass. So here what I am doing, I don't want to do anything. I want to check a condition, but after that, if the condition is true, I don't want to do anything. So in this case, what you can use this pass. So if condition is true, it will go inside it and it will do nothing. So if you don't use it, it is going to give you an error. So you have to use it like that. Another control statement is while. Usually in other programming languages we use while a lot, but in Python I personally hardly use this while, but just for knowledge purpose you should know what is this while. So let's say if I have a equals to 10, and if I write while, and then after that I have to specify a condition. So let's say if I write something like this, if a is greater than 0 inside this, and print value of a. And if I do this, you will see that it is printing like that, but it keeps on running. So what we have to do, we have to make this condition false, because here you will see that a is true, a is 10 and it is remaining 10. We are not doing anything, we are not incrementing it or we are not decrementing it. So this loop will keeps on going on. Why? Because 10 is always going to be greater than 0, so this condition will remain true every time, and this keeps on going on. It keeps printing f a is greater than 10. So what you have to do, you have to decrement a. So to decrement a, we can write it like this: a equals to a minus 1. You will see that a is 10, a is 9, 8, like this it is printing. Till what point it is printing? Till the condition gets false. So here you will see that a is 1. So after a minus 1, that is going to be a is 0. So the moment a becomes 0, this condition is going to be false. It will not go inside this while loop, right? You can write this line of a code like that also: minus equals to 1. If I run it, so here you will see that it is printing 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like that, right? So here you have to check whether condition is going to be false or not. So in the for statement, we check for the condition is true or not, and in the while statement or in the while control statements, what happens is we run until the condition gets false, right? So a is greater than 10, condition is true. A is greater than 9 is greater than 0, condition is true. 8 is greater than 0, condition is true. And the moment the a becomes 0, condition is going to be false and your loop will come out of it. But what if I want something else? Here what I want is, I want my loop to stop at 5. Okay, though I don't want to decrement it, I want to. Here you will see that my this a is getting, or what I'm going to do, a equals to a minus 1. I'm doing it over here, and I don't want to run this condition till 0. What I want is, I want this while loop to stop if the value of a is 5. So in this case, what you can do is you can simply use if a is equals to 5, then just break. So the moment you write break, what will happen is it will come out of your while loop. So if I run this, you will see that the moment, so a is 10, then 9, then 8, then 7, then 6, and the moment it becomes 5, it will check if a is equals to 5, and it breaks. So when we write a break statement, it will not further go inside this while statement. It will come out of the loop irrespective of whether condition is false or not. So here you can see that my a is 5. It is not, this condition is not getting false, this condition is true because 5 is greater than 0. Still it is going inside it, but we have written a break statement. What break does, it will come out of your loop, or you can say it breaks the normal flow of your program. What is the normal flow of your program? This while loop will keep on running until this condition gets false. So this is a normal flow, but if you put a break statement, it can be or your normal flow can be broken down in between. So this is a break. We use break also a lot of time. Can we use this break inside a for loop? Let's see. So for I in range 10, print I if I is equals to 5. And if I run it, you will see that it is printing 0 1 2 3 4 5, and then because I becomes 5, it is coming out of a loop. It is not further printing 6 7 8 9, right? In a normal flow, what it should do, it should just simply print 1 to 9, but because we have added a break statement, now this time it is just going to print 5, and it will come out of a loop. So normal flow can be broken down to it. But okay, another scenario is that now here you will see that I am printing 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? I don't want to print 5 and 6, or I don't want to print 5. What I want is I want to print only 0 1 2 3 4 6 7 8 9. I want to skip this 5 number. How I can do that? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write if I is equals to 5, I want to continue. Now, when you write continue, what happens is it will not further move in your for loop. It will just move to the next iteration. So if I print this, you will see that it skipped the number 5. Why? Because the moment I becomes 5, it will not print this line number 4. It will just move to the next number, which is going to be 6, right? So here you will see that it is printing all the numbers except 5. Why? Because we have used continue. What if I use break? In break, it will not even print 6 7 8 9. So break, what happens is it completely moves out of the for loop. But if you use continue, it will just move out of a for loop for that particular iteration. So it will continue with the next iterations like this. So this is continue, this is break. Okay, so I think this is sufficient for today, and now I am open for questions. So this is all about the control statements. Okay, let's take questions. Rohan is asking about, is continue same as pass? No, Rohan, continue is not same as pass. Pass is basically just for that particular block of a code, it is going to skip. But in case of a for, what happens, it completely moves to the next iteration, right? So pass is not going to tell you to move to the next iteration, but continue will tell you, continue will take you to the next iteration. uh, shall we put single equals to sign instead of two equals to? Sorry, Rhonda, I didn't get your question. Right, pass in if condition possible? Yes, it is possible in if condition. No, because it is not going to evaluate to true and false. Okay, just write your question here so that I can get it, because I have to otherwise scroll over the whole chat. Just put your question. If we don't want to print two numbers, then how we can give the condition? In this case, what you can do is you can check for the two numbers. So I equals to 5 and I equals to 6. uh why 5 not printed? Puneet, as I said, what it is going to do, we are writing continue. So if you specify continue, it will not read the further lines, it will just move to the next iteration. What is the difference between while and if statements? There is no big difference as such, they are just a way of writing the loop statements in the Python. But for what is difference between while and if statement? Okay, so you are comparing while with a if statement. While is a loop, whereas if is just a control statement. So if is going to be executed once, whereas while is going to be a loop, it is a loop. Please repeat break and continue. Okay, so okay, let's run this program. Here you will see, if I write continue, it is going to print 0 to 9 except 5. Why it is skipping 5? Because when the value of I is going to be 5, from here it will directly jump onto the next number, which is 6. It is not going to print this line number 4, right? So continue, what continue does, it comes out from the current execution and moves to the next iteration, right? But what if I print, if I write break over here and if I run it, what happens, it will not print 6, 7, 8, 9 also. Why? Because it is going to be, it is going to completely break your for loop, it will not further go to any iteration, whereas in the continue it will move to the next iteration. Is it possible to use switch statements in Python? No, Sushil, there is there's nothing switch statement in the Python, though there is something called match case. That is a different thing that we will discuss later on. But as such, there is no keyword switch in the Python. Please tell nested if once again. So what is nested if? Let's say I have one condition. One bank has one scheme. So what is bank scheme? If your account balance is greater than 10,000 and you stay in Delhi or in some country or New York, or and you stay in, let's say, Delhi, then you will get a credit card for free. Get credit card for free. If you have balance more than 10,000 or you don't stay in Delhi, let's say you stay in Mumbai, you will not get a credit card. So this scheme is only for the Delhi people and only for those people who have balance which is more than 10,000. So you will see that I have to do this. Now how I can do this? I can write if, let's say I have balance variable, let's say 20,000, So what I have to do, I have to write balance greater than equals to 10,000, and once this is right, then I will check city is equals to Delhi, print get credit card for free. So in this case, you will see that let's have city equals to Delhi. So now in this case, what you will see that I am using how many ifs? I am using two ifs. But here you will see that the second if is inside the first if. That means this is called as nesting of ifs. If one if is inside the another if, we call it nested if, right? And this is the nesting ifs in Python. Do we have go to statement? No. Will you able to share today and yesterday notebook link? Please watch, go through the YouTube videos. There in the description box you will find the notebook links for each session. Is there any difference in performance side for while or for loop? No, there is no difference as such. Why 5 is not printing? Because it is first iteration and next iteration will check the condition. Can you please explain pass a real time example? Okay. Let's say I'm rolling a dice, right? So here you will see that if I get 4 or if I get 6, let's say roll dice, let's say 5. If roll dice is equals to 5, print and in else case I don't want to do anything. Here I will just simply use pass. So pass as such, it does not have a big utility as such, but lot of time we use it when we have when we don't want to do anything. But as I said, it is recommended to have a else part. Here I don't, even if I don't write else part, the program will work fine, there is no issue. But as a good standard practice, you should have a else part, and in the else part I don't want to do anything, so I will just simply use pass. Okay, what else? Do we have this? Okay, so I think that's it for today. Uh, okay, so what? So even if few concepts you are not able to understand, just watch the recordings again on our YouTube channel, and there you, if you watch it carefully, you will definitely learn that. Even if you are not able to understand it, don't worry. In further sessions when we will be doing more programs, we will be using all those things there itself, so then also you will learn that. Thank you. Any other quick questions that I can take? One or two questions. Use case of break we use very often. Let's say uh, mm, okay, so what is the real time use case of break? Okay, so let's say there every hour. Mm, okay, so let's say every hour KBC or some game is there, they give you question to solve, right? Every hour they give you question to solve, and if your answer is right, you will get a you will get a gift hamper. Okay, so what happens is, let's say 00 hour, that is midnight, then you have 01, then you have 2 a.m., then you have 3 a.m., then you have 4 a.m., then you have 5 a.m., then you have 6 a.m., let's say. Similarly, you have 7, then you have 8, like this. Okay, every hour they are going to give you a question: q1, q2, q3, q4, q5, q6, q7, q wait a minute. Okay, q8. Now, I don't know what those questions are. So let's say at q1 they ask me about for loop, or they ask me about the some history. In second, they ask you about something else. At third question, they ask you about something else. I don't know which question I'm going to solve. But the moment I solve the question, what will happen? I'm going to a winner. I'm not going to check the further question. So let's say here they ask me about the capital of India. So here they ask you about the capital of India. So this question is right. I know the answer, and I gave this question correct. Now what happens? Do I need to go further? Do I need to go every hour after this 2 a.m. to check whether I to check for the question? Here I got the right answer. I don't need to check further. So what I can do is I can break out of it. I don't know which question I am going to give the right answer, right? But the moment my answer is right, I want to move out of the game, right? So let's say not at the my third answer is third question's answer is also wrong. So I move further. Let's say at the fifth question I got a simple question, and here I made the right answer. So I will do the break. So the condition is, the moment I am giving the right answer, just move out of the loop. But I don't know the exact point where my question's answer is going to be right. So in this case, you can use the break statement. Okay, so that's it from my side for today. I hope I am able to answer your question. Okay, so just quickly tell me whether you like today's session or not. How was the today's session? You learn good things or not? Just put it in the chat window. I'm not able to see any chats. Okay. So once again, how was this session? Do we have a session tomorrow? Yes, we have a session tomorrow. Yes, thank you, Hari. Thank you, Ashwata. Thank you, Kuldeep. Thank you, Sharma. Yeah, just write how was the session, or do you want any changes in the session, or you learn something new, different. Explain between plain if and if else one more time, please. Harish will surely do it the moment we will do more programming. Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you, Andma. Thank you, S. Nair. Okay, so that is it from my side for today. I would recommend to subscribe to our channel, like our channel, so that you will get a notification about the next session also. Or time to time we upload a lot of technological topics, and that I try to explain it in simple way, so that you can subscribe, so that you will get information about those videos. Or if you have good explanation of scenarios but request to explain further topics in some other rather than numbers, sure, Karun, I try to do that only. Like when we started, we start instead of starting with ABC, I started with a voter example. In the same way, I try to use as much as possible, but sometimes those number examples are also good to understand concept. Okay, that's it. Thank you, Ashok. Yes, Anita, we'll try to add assignments at the earliest. Okay, okay. Sorry, guys. Today it's Saturday, so there will not be any session tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow it's Saturday. I'm sorry. Um, okay, so there is no session tomorrow. Next session will be on Monday. I will share the notification also, and I will share the timings in the WhatsApp group also. So timings will remain the same. Only thing is there is no session tomorrow. The next session is going to be on Monday. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you everyone.